Hey guys, welcome back. This is a little video updating all the things I've done on the Mk2 over the past couple of weeks. There's some big changes, some little changes, and I'm excited to go through them with you and show you what I've done. So, first things first, the front bumper. If you've been following my build on Instagram, you might have seen that I used to have a completely smooth front bumper and the number plate would hang down here off a bracket that I had made. Now, while I really love that bumper, I decided it wasn't really fitting for what I wanted to do with the build, and I wanted to keep it sort of looking as original as possible on the outside. And from factory, the GL specs came with a chrome front bumper. It matches the rear that I've got on, so I went out and I got this new old stock front bumper. I've got a new indicator lens in as well. Unfortunately, the one over there is a bit cracked, but I'm getting a new one for that. And I've got my number plate now situated in the center, which I think looks a lot more original and suits the car better. With the front bumper, you can see I've got it fitted, and it is all fitted well underneath and supported well, but as you can see, there's a big gap here. Now, I'm not sure what's going on, but down over here, it fits absolutely perfectly, and this is where I want it to be. But on the right-hand side, it seems to poke out and also go down a little bit. So what I need to do is go look at what's going on underneath there, maybe space it, and try and make it fit a little bit better. So, the next big thing that's happened to my Mk2 over the past week or so is, as you remember, the car was rolling around on the stock suspension, that's stock coils and stock strut towers as well. So what I've done is I've gone out and I've managed to source myself some air ride for the car. Now I am over the moon. It took me about a day and a half to fit, and my God, it looks amazing. So what I'll do now is I'll show you what it looks like in its down position, because at the moment this is as high as the car goes, as a bit of a demonstration. One of the first things to do when fitting the air ride was to make sure that all the electrics worked. So I spent the first day going through it all and hooking it up to the battery, hooking it up to a remote feed, making sure that everything worked properly, the little controller turned on well. In this system, I'm using V2 management, and I'm using airlift struts. I've had this kit, I bought it brand new back in 2014, but I've had it stored away since then, just waiting to go on the car when it was done with the engine conversion. Now, with the boot build, I haven't gone crazy. I've literally just got a bit of wood, bolted everything down, make sure it works properly, everything's attached and functional. It's not meant to be looking good at the moment. As I said, this was the first time getting it on the car. I wanted it to look average, but work well and to be functional. And then going forward, I can take it and adapt it, make it look nicer, get it more show ready. You know, as you can see, the paint's not great on the car yet, so there's a lot more to do to get it show ready. So as you also might have seen on my Instagram, the second day consisted of getting the car up off its wheels. So I had 4 axle stands underneath supporting it, and this was so that we could do all 4 suspension struts at once, and it wasn't a case of like lift up the back and do that first then let it down, lift up the front first then let it down, because the issue with air ride is unless it's all together connected and working, none of the bags have any pressure in them, so as soon as you lower it down, the jack gets stuck underneath, which I didn't want to happen. So as you might have seen, I had it up on the axle stands and we were set to work taking all the old original springs and struts off the car. So one of the biggest hurdles that we ran into is the nuts that secure the top mounts at the front of the car. Now, they're screwed on with a nylock nut, which in itself is a pain in the neck to get off. It doesn't help that they sit sunken in the top mount metal part at the top, I'm not sure what it's called. But they sit sunk down, so it's really hard to get a spanner on there. And then on top of all that, if you try and spin it, the strut spins with it, so you need to find a way to secure the top of it, and it's a massive faff unless you have an impact gun. So after much deliberation, I decided to invest in one so that I could make sure that going forward everything was done properly and I wouldn't struggle in getting the top mounts off. After we'd finished installing all 4 struts, the next thing to do was to do the electrics. Now, I really don't like electrics, so I had a good friend of mine help with it, and we needed to run the remote wire up to the fuse box because at this point it had just been in the boot as I was testing it, and then we also needed to run the remote control up to the driver's area as well. It went quite well. I've managed to secure it inside the VAG service system hole up here, and it's great. So as you're driving, you can go along, and if you need to adjust any pressures at all, it's pretty easy to access. So I really like it. I can tuck it away and you would never even know that this car has air ride. Right guys, thanks for watching. That's just a little bit about the updates on my Mark II Golf. Really happy with how it's been going. Love how it looks when it's aired out. Hopefully going to be going to a few meets and shows. I know it's not a show winner, but I love driving it. It's being really reliable for me at the moment, and you know, why not? When the weather's like this, there's no reason to get out and not drive your classic, because it's what we all live for, isn't it really? Now stay tuned, because hopefully coming up soon, some more reviews. I'm looking at a Bentley hopefully in a couple of days, and obviously more on the Mark II, more on the Jetta, and if you're interested, maybe more on the GTI as well. Thank you very much.